I've always viewed CarMax as a litmus test of sorts whenever it comes to not only the car market, but the entire economy as a whole. Because unlike automakers who are selling $50,000 cars to the few who can afford them, or franchise dealerships who are selling both new and used vehicles, kind of skewing their results, CarMax is solely used car dealerships, and they are one of the biggest dealership groups in the entire country, which means that no matter where you are in the United States, there is a good chance CarMax isn't that far. And what this does is it means that the performance of CarMax can oftentimes, as a result, be reflective of the entire car market, the economy, and economic outlook. And as CarMax's earnings, profit, revenue, and sales volume either go up or down, this can be indicative of things like consumer sentiment, overall vehicle affordability, the job market, and a slew of other economic factors. And if there is one thing that CarMax is telling us now, it's that we're just kidding. Kinda. Not really. I made a video somewhat recently breaking down CarMax's terrible earnings. CarMax reported their Q2 earnings, and it was not good. Income was down, vehicle acquisition was down, and stock price is down. Retail used unit sales decreased by 5.4%. Comparable store used unit sales decreased by 6.3%. Wholesale units decreased by 2.2%, while overall vehicle sales fell by 4.1%. And in that video, I expressed my frustrations with CarMax's high prices and BS fees. And while that video was in response to CarMax's earnings that were reported back in September, which were lackluster at best, it doesn't seem like CarMax is wasting any time trying to curb the decline that they are obviously feeling. Because as of this week, CarMax CEO is out. According to Automotive News, CarMax Inc. said CEO Bill Nash will step down in a leadership shakeup the company characterized as needed to strengthen its business. His last day will be on December 1st. The news release then goes on to say, CarMax appointed David McWright, a member of its board of directors, as interim CEO. Tom Follard, a CarMax executive with 30-year history in the company, was named interim executive chair of the board. Nash, the CEO who just stepped down, is also going to be leaving his seat on the board. And on the news, or at least as of recording this video, CarMax stock is down 15%. This is a really interesting move because, as I've already said a couple of times, I think that CarMax's performance can oftentimes be a reflection of the overall car market and the economy. When the car market and economy are strong, CarMax does well. And while I'm not saying that CarMax is not to blame for their poor performance, because let's face it, CarMax has too many fees, their prices are too high relative to the actual value of the cars that they're selling. And to be honest, I'm not exactly impressed with these prices. For example, we have this 2018 with 95,000 miles that's priced just below 16 grand. We have this Corolla GR, which is priced at $34,998, and you can see that all CarMax vehicles have the CarMax no haggle price. And those factors are 100% on CarMax, and they absolutely are to blame for the decline of the company. But the car market is also just brutal. Cars are too expensive, the economy is bad, the job market is getting worse, interest rates are getting better, but they're still high. It is a tough game right now for dealerships. But it does make me wonder what would happen if CarMax could be the first one to actually change the game once again. Change it to a new normal, and kind of go back to what we experienced as car buyers and as a car market pre-COVID. Go back to transparent pricing, no BS fees, and lower prices to a more reasonable level. And I'm not saying that this is something that CarMax will do or is talking about. It is purely just speculation and almost daydreaming on my part. But I think that if a dealership group, whether that be CarMax or another dealership group, were to do this, they would be onto something. This is sort of an adjacent problem to what we're seeing with automakers and the affordable car. You see, back during the pandemic, automakers doubled down on high margin, high price tag cars, which were flying off the shelf whenever the car market was on fire and people had extra money in their pocket. But now that things have slowed down quite dramatically, what are the cars that are doing really well? Surprisingly well. Well, the affordable options for vehicles like the Chevy Trax or the Ford Maverick. And it feels as though there is momentum growing around automakers beginning to create more affordable vehicles, at least far more momentum than what we've seen in the last 5 years. And this is because of the fact that affordability is on everybody's mind. Now, obviously, CarMax isn't an automaker and they aren't going to be rolling out or making a $20,000 car, but they could figure out ways to make the used cars on their lot more affordable for the average consumer. And I think that this is absolutely something that they should do, because I think that we can all agree that for many of us, affordability is one of our #1 concerns. Now, I don't have much more additional to say about the CarMax CEO specifically, but I think that this is an interesting topic, and I thought that it was worth a video, albeit a kind of short one, because I think that what this tells us is that CarMax is concerned. They are scared, and they don't really know what to expect from the near future. And while I really hope that this change change ignites something in CarMax to make their cars more affordable. What this really tells us, first and foremost, is that the used car market isn't great.